Yo, what up? I just got a question from the audience on live stream asking me whether or not I think a particular YouTuber is racist. And let me just say, me and racism go way back like car seats. I've been addressing racism on this channel under a whole bunch of different headings. Some of my most viewed videos were addressing racism. For example, Cory McCarthy, Tara McCarthy, the question of why Vegan Gains was co-signing Tara McCarthy and Cory McCarthy. Racism and neo-Nazis have come up under a bunch of different headings. And memorably, I addressed one guy, just a really short video. Most of my videos are over 10 minutes long, but I did a really short video addressing a guy who was expressing revisionist views about the Holocaust. He repeatedly disclaimed that he's not a Holocaust denier, but long story short, the guy is a Holocaust denier. Now, here's why I mentioned this in preface to answering this question from the audience. My old nemesis, Unnatural Vegan, also made a response to that guy, the putative Holocaust denier, neo-Nazi in that same scenario. So to be clear, we're not talking about Cory McCarthy here. We're talking about another guy who made specific questions about what he believed did and didn't happen in the Holocaust. And of course, his beliefs are based on Google searches of neo-Nazi websites, right? So, like his sources of information are pathetically one-sided and biased. And he's a grown man. He's not a teenager. We're not talking about a 14-year-old or something. He's old enough to know better, and he's also old enough to know better after people tell him better. Because he had people break it down for him, explain it to him, and he just didn't want to hear it. So he's been given every opportunity to put the pieces together and get straight with the facts. He didn't want to. Unnatural Vegan, when she responded to this guy and this short-lived phenomenon of people freaking out about this Holocaust denier within the vegan movement here on Vegan YouTube, all kinds of people are going to be vegan. He's not the worst human being to become vegan, but he also isn't the best, You're going to meet a lot of strange people if you meet a lot of strange vegans. But Unnatural Vegan, in her response to this, said she did not consider this man to be a Holocaust denier. She simply considered him to express some of the same views as Holocaust deniers. She said she did not consider him to be a neo-Nazi, but he expressed tenets, he expressed views or beliefs, he espoused beliefs that are the same beliefs as a neo-Nazi.
Where do you draw the line between someone being a Nazi?
Why are we drawing a line? Why are we drawing a line at all? Right? Now, I think the ultimate reason why we don't need to draw a line is that here on YouTube, the broadcaster is the editor, right? I do think there are situations where someone has an emotional meltdown, like, on the street and somebody else is filming it, and they're really not racist, but in that circumstance, they said something that's different. In this situation, we're talking about carefully edited, scripted, and rehearsed statements about politics. Mm-hmm. And then the people themselves get to sit there, calm down, watch it, edit it, upload it, rewatch. There's a process, right? I think people forget that about, like, the Cory McCarthy incident or any of these incidents. It's not like I had a hidden camera and this guy was just angry at a particular employee at Starbucks and said something racist. That is different. Human beings make mistakes, and I think we can all be magnanimous when you're talking about the kind of... It's not what we're talking about here at all. We're talking about expressed, contrived political views connected to racism, anti-Semitism, neo-Nazis, the history of World War II, or how they view black people, how they view Jewish people, et cetera, right? And they themselves are not just the broadcaster, they're the editor. They had the delete button, right? Mm-hmm. That's a huge difference. And for example, let's say somebody on CNN had a meltdown in the middle of a broadcast, it was going live. I would regard that differently. That's not what we're talking about. There is no difference between expressing a political belief and being a political belief, okay? When you espouse that you believe something, you are something. When we're talking about grown adults, that is it. Do people change? Of course they change. People change their views. People make decisions based on the information available to them at the time. And I can remember reading about a scholar of Buddhism who briefly became a Holocaust denier, destroyed his career, destroyed his reputation. But the research he was doing during that brief period led him to question the lies he was learning, basically from neo-Nazi websites and other, right-wing propaganda sources. And he eventually discovered that, yes, the Holocaust is real, and, the death camps really existed, the gas chambers really existed. And he ended up recanting those views and changing, okay? So the question I just got from the live stream is, Vegan Cheetah, Charles, is he racist? Charles, in rehearsed and edited and contrived videos, makes statements that are racist. Therefore, it is reasonable to say that he is racist. There's no line for us to draw between these two things. In the past, there were some unrehearsed, spontaneous moments where he was joking around with his brother and said things that were slightly racist. I hold that to a different standard, as I mentioned. If you're quoting a rap lyric, if you're just drunk and angry at your girlfriend, that's different. But we're talking about rehearsed, edited statements about politics. Statements of a deeply personal nature, but also of a political nature, shared with a clear political purpose. So, does that make you racist? The question I would ask you is, if it doesn't, what does?